What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 123 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. What's up, dude?
I have been busy.
It's been a week. It
Um,
has been a week that I don't think either of us can really say we expected.
yeah, it is. It's been a busy week. It's been a good week. It's just been a busy week.
For sure.
So, from the title of this episode, everyone who's at least in our server will understand what's going on, what we're talking about here. This is going to go over our rules for our team draft league that we just kind of spurred at the moment, just threw on people. Now that draft league, our BDSP draft league is over.
Yeah, BDSP is done. Our circuit is winding down.
Yep.
But this is something that we had kind of been wanting to do for a minute, and then they started, people on the server were kind of talking about it the other day, and so we're like, hey, we should do that.
Yeah, we should just pull the trigger on it.
In the Monday announcement, you're like, hey, here's this.
Yeah, have
and then
fun.
next thing you know, we have like 60-some people signed up for it. So
yeah. Manager applications are due, I think I said Friday, the 15th.
correct.
Yeah.
I have I don't know if you've noticed, but on the Discord I have events running now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hadn't actually ever messed with it. I'm like, this is just like a good way of keeping things organized.
Yeah.
So yeah, applications are due on Friday. We don't have like a set time or anything. They're due by just whenever.
Yeah, if they're postmarked on the 15th, sure.
Yeah.
If they're not in by the 15th, we ain't looking at them.
Yeah, exactly. Like we are gonna turn off the notification, like the accepting responses thing on the Google Forms on the 15th, excuse me, and that's that. So we're gonna be going over the do's and don'ts and the rules of the league and everything today.
Yep, kind of explain how it works and what we're going to be doing and all that fun jazz.
So simply put, draft leagues are something that many communities across the Pokemon community have ran before. We historically have ran them similar to how fantasy football operates, where you draft Pokemon, you build a team based on your team versus theirs each week, and you play head to head. This is more actually like fantasy football.
Yeah, this is closer to fantasy football than what our Pokemon the idea of Pokemon being fantasy football, right? We're going to be drafting players instead of Pokemon, and you're going to be playing against other players on other teams.
Yeah, so there will be manager, potentially co-manager, depending on if the selected people decide they want an additional player, like an additional manager on their team. And then based on the attendance rate, we are going to have everyone drafted onto teams. And then from there, you play, X rounds of round robin, and then, we have Top Cut.
Yep.
So each player that signs up, pending something going absolutely crazy, we're going to have every single player drafted.
Yep.
Which is something very unique to this draft league as opposed to other ones that have been ran historically, where it's more, it feels like who you know versus who you are. And obviously that's kind of how team building works is, hey, you and I have this connection. We should do something with that.
Yeah.
You should give me this opportunity. But, I think this is also a good way of getting that team building aspect of meeting people online, playing matches with people and testing and actually performing as a team can also bring you, hey, I placed first in this division on this team.
Exactly. Yeah.
That looks good on your resume for future events as well.
Yeah.
So, this is a resume builder, essentially. There is no prize. There is no, entry fee. There's nothing like that. This is strictly for your entertainment, your fun, and bragging rights, and
Yeah,
I'm excited for this.
Pretty easy stuff, right? I will be. I guess you could call me the commissioner. I guess that would be my role.
Yeah,
I am.
you're Roger Goodell,
I am.
but the difference is we like you.
Yeah. Evan, our normal person who does all of our draft league stuff for us, is busy with World Cup, so I'm taking the reins on this one. It's not going to be hard. Like, I feel like once we get everybody set up into teams, the most I'll have to do is make sure random pairings get paired like every week, right?
Yep.
Like, that's the most I'll ever have to do. We're automating so much of this; it's going to be super easy for anyone to just follow along and
huge shout outs to Wendell and I believe Flair and Esther are also working on it, and just like the whole team behind the spreadsheet is absurd, and like, dude, our community's great at building spreadsheets.
Wendell and Evan had this sheet from another draft league event, and they were nice enough to share it with us. Wendell went in and adjusted it for us. It looks super duper cool. Once we get team logos and everything in there, I can start making like matchup sheets and things like that, and show standings. It'll be super duper cool.
I'm very, very excited to, just have like a segment each week on the podcast of like, all right, here's your standings, here's your matchups for the week. All right, cool. Talk to you next week about this.
Yeah, it'll be cool to just talk about standings and how teams are doing and things like that for at least 7 weeks or whatever it ends up being.
And like on top of that, we can also like another really good thing about this is the potential for people to make content from it.
Oh yeah.
I cannot stress that enough. I absolutely love when we have people who are in our draft leagues. They're like, hey, here's my week matchup, and like obviously I do the same thing with like my RTT matches. If either you or I play in like our dojos, we make content from those. Yep. Just anything and everything that people want to make content from, we're all for.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We're gonna plug it. Like, do it.
Yeah. I'm probably going to make sure that everyone has access to our LDL logo. That way they can put it in the corner or whatever for their videos. That way they have something for thumbnails and stuff like that. But I'm excited to do this. Like I said, this was me just like, I had Monday off. People were talking about it. I've had it started for a while. I just never had time to sit down and just do it. And Monday just happened to be the holiday, and I was able to just sit down and get it out there and get it started.
And then what's great about this is the explosion from the communities that have come in and just like taken reign of this to make it their own too is just phenomenal.
Yeah, that's where the busy part happened, right? We've had a lot of new people join. The server broke 500 members.
Basically out of nowhere.
Yeah.
NG made a comment Monday morning, and we were like 480, I think, or like 470 at the time.
Somewhere in there.
He's like, y'all are going to break 500 today. And it was like 22 hours after that comment.
Yeah.
He's like, that we broke 500.
Yeah. Super duper cool. Super excited to have all these new players and new people being active in the server, and I'm excited to see who gets on top and what team, how they do it. Like, are they going to be super standard draft play? Are they going to be super standard players? Are they going to be like off the wall players? We have a lot of very unique talent, I would call it. I wouldn't call it like super standard structured like you'd see from like on the VGC circuit a lot of the time. Like, they don't play the standard Kyogre Rain. They don't play Rinya Sun. They don't play this and that. Our people like to pick off the wall stuff and play with that. And so I want to see how much that impacts like player selection, matchup selection, who's going to win out, whose crazy tech's going to be better than whose, and it'll be great.
I'm very excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So let's get into these rules a little bit here. like we mentioned, there's going to be teams. Right now, at the moment, we're looking at 8 teams of 7-ish, somewhere in there.
About that, yeah.
With the number of signups we have player-wise, we were trying to do the math earlier. We're thinking 8 teams is pretty much the lock. That's kind of what we're going to go with. It's a clean...
If we get a large amount of signups between now and Friday, we might bump that to 10 just to keep the team numbers, like the team member numbers low.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think 8 is probably good. 10 is probably our upper limit. Is the long and short of it.
I'm trying to think number wise what player numbers we have to hit for 10. So
even numbers.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Preferably ones that end in 0.
So I don't think we want any more than 7 players to a team. I think 7 is just like the perfect number in this situation. So it'd be probably something like 70 signups will probably be 10 teams, I would say. And we're currently
that's probably about right.
We're currently like 54.
There's currently 66, but there's also
a bunch of manager overlap.
A vast majority of people who have signed up as managers or have also signed up as players. So obviously, we need to take those out. So it brings us down to 50-ish.
Yeah, 54 was a solid number there.
Once like captains are pulled out, and then like if
co-managers.
If those managers actually want a co-manager to help run their team and everything, those are also on there. So yeah, there's a lot to parse from this data as well. Like we're obviously still missing things, but it's because we don't have things to fill in yet.
I'll mention this now while we're talking about teams and whatnot. Sign up for player deadlines is the end of July. That form will close August 1st at midnight, because that is the start of scouting week for our managers. That way they have time to look at players, talk with them, get a little bit better idea on who they are, what they like to play, things like that. We're giving them a week to do that. I think there's going to be a scramble that week. Spacky Titans hosting that for us. Big shout out to them.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I know we're doing our last chance qualifier for the Invitational. It's either this weekend or the weekend. I think it's this weekend. I think it is this weekend. I have to go check the website real fast.
Waiting.
It is not on the schedule right now. That's because we took it off the schedule. I took the LRQ date off the schedule because we weren't hosting another LRQ. That's right.
Got it.
So yeah, we'll be probably doing that this weekend. Well, yeah, we'll probably be doing that the 16th then. So I have to get that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have to get that all made up. Cool. One more job for me to do.
Which, I mean, that one is not.
That's not hard.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's not hard. That's just throwing a Battlefy sign up for out page out in the world and just have at it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 70 player signups means we can do that 10 teams of 7. If we break that threshold, we'll see where we're at. I don't know how much more like traffic we're going to get. I feel like it's mostly taken care of. I feel like it's going to kind of stall out. We'll get a couple more player signs up probably, but definitely won't see a whole lot more explosive growth like we had this first week.
Yeah, we still have a handful of people who are coming in the server and everything, so obviously I anticipate that to continue to grow. It's just a matter of how much does it grow from here.
It'll be a couple players every other day or so probably.
Mm-hmm. Most likely.
So yeah, those are the important deadlines. Week 1 will be starting August 7th, I think. Or no, draft day is the 6th. August 7th is technically the start of week 1.
That sounds correct, yes.
It's either the 7th or the 8th. I don't remember what I put down. I wrote it down somewhere.
Give me 2 seconds, I can tell you.
I know the player draft is August 6th at
Yes.
12 p.m. EDT. I'm going to try.
Week 1 begins August 8th. Yes.
Okay, so that's the Monday. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to live stream the player draft. That way, people can watch it. It's gonna be mostly automated, but I might just like slap a screen up and just have it go while people are watching. That way, people can observe and get an idea of where they're getting picked and who's picking them.
Pending nothing crazy going on at work, I'm also going to try to take that day off.
Okay.
So we can actually like stream it and talk about it and everything as it's going on.
That'll be cool.
But we need more people to be hired and trained by then. So we're playing the waiting game still.
Okay, back on track for the rules.
Yes.
Otherwise, we're never going to get through all of these.
Correct.
Like we mentioned, every week you're going to be playing best of 3 matches against opponent from an opposing team. There will be 5 matches total each week, 1 for so many players. Winner will be like 3 out of 2, 4 out of 1, so on and so forth. Just standard.
It is important to note that all matches are going to be played regardless of like outcome of the event.
Yeah.
Like, so if Team A goes up 3-0, the other 2 games are still going to be played.
They're still important.
Yeah, because they can affect standings and stuff like that.
Yep, they are still important. Do not treat every loss like if you go 3-0 real early, don't give up. Just play the rest of the games out.
I think there's a situation in USPA where like we could make playoffs if like X team lost like 4-1 and they ended up losing like 3-2 or something. Like it was very, very close and it made us sad.
Yeah. That's the big thing is like I want to like there's only 8 teams or 10 teams or whatever it end up being, so like tiebreakers probably are going to come into play, and while head to head is nice sometimes, that's not always the best tiebreaker. So having these other like match points where you may have lost a week but you only lost by 1, situations like that they're going to help you in your tiebreakers and things like that.
Agreed.
How the matchups are going to work is each team manager is going to submit 5 players for that week, and then I'm going to probably randomly pair them. I don't know if I'm going to do it or if we're going to have a bot do it or whatever. But
I'm really hoping that I know the DPEC server, which Flair and Esther are, big members of, are like on the mod team and everything. They have a server that for their dojo, they have a bot that you sign up for, and then it spits out pairings at X time on X day.
That's nice.
So we should talk to them about getting that set up for us too.
that would make it easier.
Make Aaron's life easier.
Yeah, I told him if he ever wants to do that, he just has to talk to them. But I'm guessing they haven't sat down and just done it yet.
No, probably not. That's what that sounds like.
So that's how that's going to work. Either I'm going to do it or somebody else, a bot's going to do it or somebody's going to do it. And you'll be randomly paired for that week. You have the entire week to play that match. We'll get into what happens if there's an emergency or anything later. But overall, I expect these to go pretty quick. I don't expect a whole lot of issues outside,
Agreed.
like timing and scheduling wise.
Agreed.
So
then that brings us to
the next section here, playing the game and how we're gonna handle certain situations.
So you got paired up for the week. You are a member of Team A and are playing Team B this week.
Yep.
So you are on the active roster for this week. What actually happens? You're going to communicate with your opponent via DMs, saying, I'm assuming we're going to have DMs. We're also probably going to have like a general chat for the draft league as well.
Yeah.
Communicate on there, be like, hey, when are you free to play so we can set up matches and everything like that. Agreed upon time. Sure. We are going to really, really encourage players to set an exact time, so
Yes.
that like we can enforce penalties if players are late and not communicated with. It's just, oh hey, sorry, I forgot. That's probably not gonna fly.
Yeah. Always let your manager know, hey, we agreed to this time. Definitely be strict on on a time.
Mm-hmm.
That we cannot emphasize that enough. Please, just like be punctual, be respectful. Try to accommodate if your opponent is halfway across the world. Try to accommodate them the best you can, whether that's playing at like a little bit later than you're normally supposed to, or a little bit getting up a little bit earlier than you're normally supposed to. But definitely try to lock in times.
Yeah, like people do need to be aware that this is a draft league taking place across the entire world.
Yep.
And like don't expect people to always accommodate you. Be more willing to be accommodating as well.
Yep. Another big thing. I want to emphasize this a ton. Play on cart.
Yes.
If you don't own Sword and or Shield right now,
please do not sign up.
Please do not sign up. If you do not have access to it, like, figure out how to get access to it if you've already signed up. It's going to be, there's very small certain situations where you are allowed to play on Showdown, but an attempt has to be made to play on cart, and the excuse of, I don't own the game, does not fly. That's
Correct.
not going to work.
Correct.
So emphasizing that now to get it out there, play on cart. We're giving you every opportunity to do this.
If you have already signed up and do not own a copy and are not going to be able to obtain a copy, please message Carl and myself and we will get your application pulled.
Yeah. It'd be best to do this now rather than do it on draft day or after you've already been drafted.
Like, oh, I didn't know. That is not an excuse.
Yeah, it is the first rule in playing the game on this document. There will be no excuse. We have told you. And like I said, we were making this easy for those that do have access to cart. Rental codes are allowed. You can play whatever rental code you can find. If you don't have a team ready that day and you need something to play, grab a rental code. It's fine. We know it's going to be legal.
Absolutely.
You can always check the VGC paste repository. It's linked in the rules doc. The bot's on our server. You can find them on Twitter. It's not hard to access this stuff. We're trying to make this as easy as possible because we know cart games can be a pain to like build and team build and whatnot for. And definitely just, if you don't have a team ready by your match date, try to find a rental code of something close to it.
I am going to be very upfront about this. I don't care where you get your Pokemon from.
Yep, we do not care.
Do not publicize how you're getting them.
Yeah, don't.
But we don't care as long as they are legal Pokemon.
Yep. We do not care where they come from. But don't post in the server. We can get in trouble. We're trying to get community points through Discord here. We're trying to become a sponsored server. So definitely don't.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it is actually.
Oh.
Getting partner on Discord is a thing.
Today I learned.
That's why we needed to hit the 500 members. That's the first step.
Oh. Oh, I'm gonna. Okay, hold on now.
So we can start looking at getting that stuff set up now. The next set of rules here are a what if situation, hypotheticals in case of emergency break glass kind of situations. In the event that your match cannot be scheduled on Showdown, on Sword and Shield, somehow you just can't get connected, you can't get your switches to link up. That happens. NAT issues are a thing. You can play the match on Showdown.
Please communicate with a member of the mod team before you do so.
Yeah. We will send one of us, a mod, somewhere to watch the game and observe. It's not a big deal, but like we do want to make sure that There's not a whole lot of shenanigans happening because unlike on cart where it's a little bit harder to flip through teams and change things, it's much easier to do that on Showdown. Don't cheat. We will be able to know when you're cheating. Trust us. So like this, if this Showdown thing starts to get abused, we'll probably cut it, and people who are having issues connecting will start probably getting game losses instead. Do not abuse this privilege. I'm putting it out there now. Do not abuse this privilege.
We are kind and generous dictators, so we don't need to be.
Exactly. In the event of a disconnect, this is a big thing, because this happens a lot. Not everybody is fancy and has the hardline OLEDs or the Ethernet adapters for your Switch. We understand
who would own those things?
In the event of a disconnect, one of two things will happen based on game state. If it has been determined that the game state can be replicated consistently, outside of the small damage percent rolls, etc., and things like that, you will be able to recreate the match game to that point and then continue the game on.
Essentially, if it's, turn 3, just recreate the 3 turns.
Yeah.
If it's turn 17, no. That's when things can happen.
This is where we get into the second thing that'll happen. If a game state cannot be reached due to the randomness that is VGC, whether it's hacks or flinches or crits, etc., or if too many turns have been taken to be considered for a remake, our hard cutoff for this is about 10. Past that, it's real hard to consistently get back to a point. So we'll be the judges on that, on where we think the moderation team thinks on what can or can't be replicated to. The player that dropped connection will be given a loss for that game, and then the players will continue as necessary to reach the end of the best of 3. So if it happened to game 1, it's just a game loss. Move on. Try not to drop connection next time. Move on to game 2. Move on to game 3, etc. If it happens to be the deciding game, sorry. That's just how it goes sometimes. And that'll be the result of the best of 3. That was a lot of talking. I'm out of breath.
You act like you did stuff.
My other big thing, and this is something I preach when we're playing on Battlefy, take screenshots. Screenshot. Have evidence. If you have photographic evidence of a disconnect, that your opponent dropped and you're still there and your opponent's not, or in the situation of like someone reported wrong, have a screenshot ready. Get the screenshots of the win-loss screen. Get the screenshot of the disconnect. Whatever. That's going to go a long way in helping us figure out who's in the right, who's in the wrong, and try to figure this stuff out.
And if you have access to recording software, by all means, feel free to record our games. Go for it. Make content. Do it.
Yeah, you don't even have to post it. If you just want to record it just to have it, that's fine. The other big thing is hopefully we will have the command soon to enter results. You will not be reporting them to us or anybody like that. You'll be able to just enter them in chat on the Discord. So and so with this command and blah 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 blah.
Press some buttons, do the thing.
Yeah, we don't have the bot quite up and running yet, so I don't know what the command exactly will be yet, but it'll be in the rules doc when it gets updated.
If it's the same one that they have, it's a percent sign report win.
Well, there you go.
But that doesn't do it completely because you don't have to report score to report it on their end. So we'll have to figure stuff out.
Yeah, it's just easily adding more inputs.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's everything for playing the games. I can't think of anything else extra.
And as we have outlined in the rules here as well, if there are things that we have not covered here, please reach out to us, so that we can, one, make a decision beforehand, and two, add it to the doc so we have a hard rule.
Yeah.
Like we cannot stress that enough. This is the first time we've done something on this scale. Please feel free to reach out so we can make rulings now and have everything set in stone.
Exactly. That next section is player manager stuff. We can get to that in a second. Let's talk about the draft.
Yes.
So the draft. We'll have managers picked out next week. That'll probably be our podcast episode next week, is talking about managers and whatnot and all that stuff. Hyping them all up. But the draft, like I said, it's going to take place on Saturday. At least one manager from each team needs to be present during the draft windows. You both don't have to be there if you have a co-manager. If you both want to be there, cool. It's not
by
a
all
big
means,
deal.
yeah.
No skin off our noses. Again, this is going to be pretty much all automated. Esther's doing a fantastic job with collaborating with me, asking me all these questions about what I want the bot to do and how I want it to work, and it's been great. So how this will work is we will randomly pick the order for draft. It'll be however many players, 1 through 8, 1 through 10, or whatever. And what will happen is we'll go 1 through 10, and then 10 through 1, and then 1 through 10, and 10 through 1, and rinse and repeat that, do that whole snake draft, since we aren't doing points and bidding and all that nonsense. We think that it's cool when you have a whole big roster of players and you're not drafting everyone anyway. But since everyone's getting picked, there's no point in doing the whole bidding thing. There's no point in that. So we're just going to let people get picked where they get picked. If you are picked last, that's not always the worst thing. Mr. Irrelevant is a thing.
Tom Brady was drafted in the 7th round, and he's a seven-time Super Bowl champion.
You might be the secret to the whole thing, and you got picked in the last round. It happens.
Never be upset that you were drafted late.
Yeah, you can.
Don't have the Johnny Manziel symptom.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of sports analogies this week, and Angela's gonna yell at me.
Yeah,
because he made one, and I yelled at him.
Yep. Each manager will have 5 minutes from when they are pinged by the bot to place their pick, and again, there will be the command there in the rules of what it is. We don't have it yet.
Yeah, well,
In the event that a pick gets skipped or missed, you missed the window by... You were away from your computer, away from your phone. I don't know. Lost internet connection. I don't know. You will then get to select that pick at the very end of the draft. Once everybody else's picks have been made, you will just be number 71 or whatever. In this case, we'll say we have 70 players. That's pick number 71, and you'll get whatever player is left from that draft. If there's multiple picks skipped, it'll go in the order that they got skipped. Simple as that. Not too terribly hard. Not a hard concept.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
This is
as you mentioned, it's gonna be 5-minute time, and should just be pretty quick. I
think this should go pretty fast. Like, I think 5 minutes is plenty of time, especially for players. You're not picking Pokemon out of X many 400 plus Pokemon. You're picking out of less than 100 players. This will
also be something that we talk with the managers and make sure that they are okay with this time as well. Because if they are, then cool, we will be fine. If everyone agrees to it, then it's okay. But if 2/3 of them say no, that's not nearly enough time, I need extra time, then obviously we will make that adjustment.
I don't see them needing more than 5 for this.
Correct.
5 minutes is enough for Pokemon draft, and that's gets more complicated than player draft, I think.
I'm hoping it's not, but
Yeah, but if they need like 10 minutes, we're gonna have to have a talking to. Is like
you and I are gonna have to improvise on stream.
yeah, like 10 minutes is way too long, I feel like. The other big emphasis in this draft is co-managers are not players. You cannot draft your co-manager to be a player and just flip that around back and forth. No, that we're not letting that happen. If you want to play the game, you can play the game. If you want to be a co-manager, you can be a co-manager. You're going to be able to play some matches as a co-manager. That's fine. But you can't pick your co-manager in the draft. If you are a manager and you want a co-manager that's already in the player pool, please let us know so we can remove them before the draft date. So a random team doesn't pick up your co-manager as a player.
So that kind of transitions into like manager rules here. With the big thing being that managers and co-managers can play during the event. Obviously, we want to encourage anyone who wants to play can.
Yeah.
That being said, there are going to be limits on the number of weeks that managers and co-managers can play. Again, pending any major changes to the event, we're currently capping it at a maximum of 3 weeks because we want the players on the team to really shine and the managers and co-managers to be the managers. You know, there's a reason they're in charge of the team. They're the ones who are helping make sure everything is running properly, making sure people are prepared appropriately, and like doing everything they can in their power to make sure their players are comfortable.
Yeah.
So they are meant to be the background, essentially. Like, they're the coach.
Yeah, you're the head coach.
Go coach.
The head coach isn't going to be out on the battlefield, on the football field, throwing the passes. That's not how this works, right? We're nice in letting the managers, co-managers, or whoever play the game. Like we still want you to be able to participate, and if you need a sub that week, that's fine. Like you can sub in, do whatever. But yeah, like the players are the stars. The people who signed up to play the game should get to play the game the majority of the time, right?
Mm-hmm. And to the extent of that, players need to play a minimum of 3 games.
Yeah.
So the maximum numbers that managers and co-managers can play is the minimum that you have from your players.
Exactly. We're trying not to dissuade managers/co-managers from playing the game. We just don't want them to try and slot themselves in every other week because they think they're better than their players. That's not the idea here. That's not the idea. That's not the purpose of this event. The purpose of this event is for people to team build, players to show off their skills, things like that. If you wanted to play the game, you shouldn't have signed up to be a manager. I feel like we're just beating the dead bush here, right? Like
yeah, essentially.
Talking back about the players with the mandatory must play 3 weeks in the regular season. You also have to have 1 week off. That way you're rotating players and not playing the same 5 or same 6 every week.
Yep. Completely understandable.
So
please don't cheat.
Yep. Please
don't make any attempt of cheating. That's just going to make our lives harder and everyone involved really upset.
Yep.
Please don't attempt to. If you feel that there is anything going on that is really fishy, then by all means, please reach out to us. If you suspect something is going on with your opponent or a team member or your manager or something, just please do not hesitate to reach out to a member of the mod team to let us know. Like,
yeah,
we will take whatever actions we need to make sure that there is nothing going on.
Yeah. The other big thing is if we find that a team or a player is trying to abuse our nice little cheating policy here, Same rule applies. We will remove you if we find that you are abusing it and just are just saying that I think they cheated just because you lost the game. Like that's not how this works.
An extension of that, if you feel for any reason that you are uncomfortable or being harassed or anything like that, from your team, from a teammate, from an opponent, anything like that, again, please do not hesitate to reach out. Obviously, we pride ourselves on having a very safe community and do not want anyone to feel discouraged in any way.
Yeah, if someone's bashing you because you lost the game, let us know. We'll handle it for you. It's fine.
Yep.
That's our job. It's not your job. You don't have to worry about that.
That being said, if a teammate comes up and says, "Hey, sorry for losing," like whatever. I did what I could. I felt like I was prepared, and evidently it wasn't enough.
Yep.
Don't berate them.
Yeah.
Don't be a jerk. Just
Carter,
simply be
Carter
like,
and I get to do this to each other because we've known each other for so long.
I've known Carl forever. I'm going to be like, Carl, you suck. What the hell?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I berate him every day. Like, it's fine. It's fine for
Can
us.
confirm. And people wonder why I'm on, emotional ice over here.
Yeah. But don't do that to your teammates. You shouldn't do that to your teammates.
Be nice to each other.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
It's not hard. We should probably talk about the substitute rule.
Yes, I agree.
This is a nice little thing I thought of and kind of figured out because it happens sometimes that life happens. You suddenly can't make the game. Something happened, family sickness, work thing, stubbed your toe, had to go to the ER, whatever.
Can we not talk about the ER, please?
A substitute player may fill in for that player. The substitute will be chosen by the opponent, by that opponent player, not the opponent manager, the opponent player, from the available player / managers on the team that needs the substitute. That's not already scheduled. So if players A, B, C, D, and E are already scheduled, players F, G, and the manager / co-managers, those 3 or 4 players that aren't scheduled or aren't playing are the available substitutes. This is to avoid overloading anybody who's already scheduled and kind of can give people some choice, I guess, because it feels bad already that you're having to cancel a match that you've already scheduled.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of want to give the opponent a little bit more responsibility in picking who they should get to play against, right?
I think the other thing there is obviously life happens. We understand that. In the event that please try to reschedule first.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, something came up tonight. I'm not able to. Obviously give some kind of explanation more than, hey, I can't. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like that. That's not gonna fly. Saying, hey, I can't tonight. My grandma's uncle is at my house. Like that's not an excuse.
Wait, what? That's
What part of that were you confused by, Carl?
grandma's uncle.
Yeah.
That's a fairly old relative there.
You don't know?
We don't live in Alabama. So.
Great. There goes our entire Alabama listener base, Carl. Thanks.
Yeah, that's fine. An extension will be granted if it can't be played at that moment. If you need an extra day to get it set up, if it happens to be on the Sunday or the week rolls over, if you need that extra time, that's fine. As long as it gets played in a timely manner. That's
the big thing.
That's the goal.
Timely manner is really, really important there.
We understand that the substitute may not be ready immediately. If something does happen, try to give your opponent as much notice as possible so they can tell us, so we can help get the whole thing rescheduled. That I feel like substitutions aren't big issue in a lot of draft leagues. Usually people are pretty easily able to sit down, play Pokemon for 15 to 45 minutes and be done with it. But like we said, life definitely can happen. An emergency can happen at any time. So,
and like we get that. We really
we
do.
wanted to have something in place just in case something happened.
as a man who has spent many an hour at the ER the last month, we understand life happens.
Yep.
By the way, it just to like, you know, elaborate on that some, I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's not Carter. I can tell you that right now. We mentioned this a little bit earlier about scheduling, about timing, trying to get exact times. In the event that you cannot schedule a match with your opponent, just let us know. We'll handle it from there. Take screenshots, get text evidence of your conversations with your opponent. If your opponent's been dodging you for 2 or 3 days and then tries to get you on the last day to come play, that's not cool. That's not okay.
Please respond to people.
Yeah.
Don't make us do stuff.
We shouldn't have to do your job for you. We shouldn't have to respond to people for you, about you, when it comes to scheduling these games. That's not cool.
Yeah.
Be an adult.
Yeah.
Like, I work with people who do that, who I will ask a question of, and they won't respond back.
Until it's too late and
until
it doesn't
it's
matter
already
anymore.
done and gone, and it doesn't matter. Like, don't be them. Don't be kids. Be adults. We're all adults here. Or we'd like to treat you as adults, at least. If we have to schedule your matches, we will. And you may not like when we schedule them.
Yeah. Just throwing that out there.
I think that's everything rule-wise.
I think you're right.
I think that's all the big ones anyway.
And again, I'm sure more will come as people listen to this and elaborate on this and say, "Hey, what about this instance?" Or what if my cat throws up on my keyboard mid-set?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you know, but Jay has had like the worst luck with his RTT matches.
Yeah.
Where like his last 2 matches, one of his pets has gotten sick at either the beginning or like midway through the set.
Goodness. Really?
Yes, like dead serious.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's awful. And so like that just is where my mind went with that comment.
I'm trying to pick out your team of the week here.
I actually haven't even looked. Let me do some digging here, see what I can find.
I actually think I have one for you.
Alright.
So...
Oh, I actually do have one. I
Alright.
do have one.
I think I have one for you, because I meant to play it, and I never got to it.
Yeah, well, this one was sent directly to me.
Oh, goodness. Who sent you that one?
Speaking of Mr. J.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, Jay sent me this Groudon Reshiram team that I'm going to end up playing. I have not recorded the games as of now. That's on the to-do list for this week. Sometime between now and Wednesday.
Well, this one's also on your docket, because I was supposed to play it, and I never found time.
Oh, okay. I feel like these are very similar in idea.
Kinda.
Yeah. I already told Jay I would play his this week because he messaged me about it.
That's fine. Like, that's fine.
So-
I was adding that other one to your docket because I told him I would play it and I never got around to it because I also just played Groudon pretty much every single week.
Great. Now I'm going to be the Groudon player.
I mean, that's fine for you. I was only going to be supposed to play for like 3 or 4 weeks.
True. So Jay here has Groudon plus Reshiram. We are Life Orb Groudon, which I think is really hot. We are Safety Goggles Reshiram because, Sleep Powder, like Venusaur is like a very good counter to the Sun modes. Like running into it on the opposing side can be annoying. Being able to just ignore redirection from like a Mungus is also a good deal. Ignoring Spore and being able to one-shot a Mungus is also a pretty big deal. I actually really like the idea of safety goggles here. I'm not sure if I like it more than like the Assault Vest variants, but that's something I am going to set out to figure out this week.
Let me tell you, as somebody who has played with safety goggles restricteds, it is really, really cool. My favorite one is Yveltal right now with safety goggles.
Yeah.
I love it so much. You just get to blow up everything that could be a problem for your Yveltal and anything else. And they always expect
How did I know you were gonna say safety goggles Yveltal?
Because I always play Yveltal.
True.
When have I not played Yveltal?
Carl is an Yveltal gamer.
Yeah. So looking over this just kind of quickly, it's very like Rinya Sun-esque.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that.
It's just like instead of Charizard, you're playing Reshiram, and then you get to play Venusaur because you're not playing Charizard.
Yeah, which then like gives you a better matchup in like opposing Gastrodons, which I think is also super sick.
Like you get to beat up Kyogre and Gastrodon really well. Granted, you're not really too terribly worried about opposing Gastrodon with like Draco Meteor and.
Yeah, the fact that we don't have a single water attack on this team says that you don't really care about opposing Gastrodons, but it is something that like can come in. Like being a water type into the sun matchup means that like, oh, I can take a Max Flare from Reshiram, and then instead you're just like, nah, go away, kid.
Nah, get out of here.
Go sit down.
Life Orb Groudon is interesting.
Yeah, I actually think that's really sick too.
I think
that's
that's
just
really
like
cool.
Something that doesn't get a lot of play.
Yeah. Beyond that, the Grimmsnarl seems super standard. It's just Screen Snarl. Incineroar seems super standard.
I'm surprised after his terrible luck with Shuka Berry Incin that he continues to play it.
Yeah, it's because he can't play the Sash because it's on Venu.
True. But I mean, like Citrus would be fine here.
Man, I was hoping when I saw this that it was going to be weakness policy Venu because you have Screens Grimmsnarl and you get to abuse the heck out of that.
Jay, I have a request. Listen to Carl.
I mean, you can make a change before you get a hold of it to play it.
Nah.
Nah, too late. But
I'd say it's already in my Switch, but it's not.
But like weakness policy Venusaur next to Grimmsnarl is something that I loved to play with in like Series 10, Series 11 and 8, and it's not something that we see too terribly much of anymore. Mainly due to the fact that Charizard's super duper scary. But I think that'd be a cool change if that's something they're into and they really hate Shuka on Incineroar. It frees up your Sash that way.
True, which I think is a pretty cool change.
It's like the Life Orb Groudon's the one thing I'm not totally sold on yet, but
yeah, I don't know about that one. It's definitely unique.
Yeah,
I'll be the first to admit that.
Life Orb isn't something we see on Groudon too terribly often, and so I'm not sure how great that is, but like Heat Crash and Life Orb is really, really cool. Probably picks up a lot of KOs, whether you're in or out of Sun. You have
I'm sure control. It does a fair amount of damage, all things considered.
Like you're able to reset Sun with your own Groudon too, which is cool. I feel like you're going to be Dynamaxing this Reshiram a lot.
Reshiram, possibly Groudon, occasionally Venusaur. You know, just a handful of Pokemon.
Like, Venusaur against Kyogre, Reshiram against Zacian, Groudon against everything else.
Yeah, that about sums it up.
Because Reshiram and Venusaur don't like Yveltal, but Groudon doesn't care. It's kind of the idea, I think. Yeah, team's really cool. I'm excited to see how this one goes.
I agree. I think this team's really cool, and you know, Jay is obviously a very cool team builder, and I'm excited to see what he does here.
Yeah.
So what else, man? What else we got on the docket?
I think that's mostly it. Again, where we hosting our last chance qualifier this weekend, this Saturday, the 16th, I think is what the day is. The day is 16th.
Yes.
Yeah, 16th.
Do we have a date set for the Invitational yet?
We do. August 6th and 7th. It's the weekend before Worlds. I did that on purpose.
The 6th and 7th.
Yes.
The weekend of our draft.
Yes, it is. Oh, trust me, I know. It's going to be a busy weekend.
Okay.
Because I won't have another weekend otherwise.
Okay.
Because...
Making sure that you're aware of what we're doing.
Yep, I know. Because the weekend of Worlds is that next weekend.
Which I don't want to run an event at the same time as Worlds.
The weekend after that is the first weekend back for college students at my job, so I won't have it off.
Got it.
And I have to be... And you're probably not going to be available to run it. And so that means I'll have to run it.
So what that means is we can start that early enough in the morning, and we can do like day one commentary into the draft.
Like last time, day one ended in a couple hours. It was like 3 hours.
Perfect.
Because it's 16 players double elim.
Yeah, we can make this work.
Like it's not gonna take very long.
We just need people to be able to like stream their games.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to get that done. That part may be hard.
To people who are qualified, please.
Please. Which we have 8 guaranteed, and I haven't had a chance to update the points yet with the dojos, but the top 8's pretty stacked.
Mm-hmm.
Padillac, 6 Squirrels, people who've already qualified before this in the first one. Yan, Spooky, Swede, Blizz, Vern, and then Adam. That's our current top 8 in points. Alongside a very good group of already qualified players in Justin. There's T-Camp's already qualified. Karibo's already qualified. Alex is already qualified. There's a lot of good qualifiers. There's a lot of good people who've already qualified, and then there's a lot of good points qualifiers. And then there's some people just hanging out outside the top 8 that could easily get in via the last chance qualifier.
Agreed. I'm excited for this event.
Same.
Especially if we actually have a group of people who can like stream games, so we can do commentary over them.
Yeah,
it's gonna be cool.
That was the plan last time, but we just couldn't ever get it to line up.
Yeah, I ended up having to work and everything else, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Hopefully this one goes off, without a hitch, and Sunday we can have a, another really really awesome like invitational winner. So we can have another member with the gold name.
Yeah, but it's been a while since we had anybody with the gold.
Yeah, it's just Mocha. I'm pretty sure it's just Mocha right now. Which, like, understandably so.
Kaizen has it. Karibo has it, I think. Because there's Draft League champions, too.
Oh, you're right. Did we assign that for the last group?
No, not yet.
We should get on that too.
Yeah.
While I'm thinking about it.
Chasing has it still. Chasing, I believe that was season 3.
Yeah, season. Oh God, forever ago.
That was
Zeno would still have it, but they hate us and left.
He doesn't hate us.
You're right. They just quit playing Pokemon.
They have other things to do.
I still follow them on Twitter. I love talking to Zeno from time to time. I haven't streamed in a while, but they used to pop into the stream all the time and hang out.
Yep. But yeah, I think that's it.
I think so, man. I think that's going to be
a wrap.
Bringing us to an end of 123.
Okay, get us out of here.
All right. So as always, everyone, if you're listening on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you get notifications when we have new stuff go up. If you're listening over on iTunes, drop us that 5-star review. I saw we had a couple more come in. I saw Spotify, we're up to like 16 5-star reviews. Drop us a review. If you're on Spotify, if I like it, I'll read it on the podcast. And I thought I had one lined up, and I forgot, so I don't have it.
Oh well.
Yeah,
Not a man of his word. Very forgetful.
It'll be next week's unless I forget.
You'll forget.
You are not incorrect.
Yep.
Let's see. Make sure you go ahead and follow us over on Twitter at LR Lessons. You can follow me at Mr. Missouri25 and Carl is at Musical VGC.
Yep.
You can also follow Carl and myself over on Twitch at Mr. Missouri25 and at Musical. One of us is going to be streaming this weekend on the Invitational. Might be both of us. Who knows? Someone somewhere is going to be streaming something somewhere for the draft here in a couple weeks.
Yeah. So one of us will. If it's just
something.
Even if it's just the Discord page with the bot and everything, it'll be up there somewhere.
Yep. Excited. So then that brings us to our community Discord, where you, as a person listening, can come and join and hang out. And that link is always down in the show notes. It takes literally a press of a button, and then I think one more button, and you're in. It's literally that simple.
I think that's it. I haven't joined the server in so long, so I don't know.
It's been a hot minute since I've joined any server, actually. I'm pretty sure it's 2 buttons.
Certain servers require certain things. So
ours is really simple because we're simple.
Yeah.
And then let's see. Go and check out the website where we have the calendar, which it has our invitation on there right now. I'm sure it'll have the draft on there as well if Carl can sit down and punch that in too.
Yeah, once I go and update the dojo, I'll probably update the calendar.
And check out the merch page while you're there. And if you're interested, make sure you go check out the merch page. Buy us a fancy t-shirt and all that good stuff. Get yourself a sticker and a coffee cup.
Or a hat or whatever.
And if merch isn't really your style, but you still want to support us, you can always do that over at Anchor through their support system for as little as 20 or 25 cents an episode. You can keep my lights on.
Yeah, or my new big overhead light that I got.
True. You can afford to pay someone to come clean my house.
Yeah.
Because I need it.
Nah, you got help. That all on your own. You're fine. You're fine.
It'll be a thing that exists.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's it. I think I hit everything.
Yep, that's it. Make sure to check out next week's episode where we talk about the managers and everything and who's got selected and whatnot. That'll be a fun episode where we get to kind of explore some of these players and maybe do a little bit of snooping.
Yeah, I'm excited. So that is it for this week, everyone. Thank you so much, and as always, we will see you next week. Have a good one. Peace.